In patriarchal societies, when girls are born, mothers feel guilty. Some feel guilty like a criminal when they give birth to only girls and not a boy. When boys are born, neighbours will come to congratulate the parents. Somehow, from the time a girl is born, so do concerns about her being a liability emerge. Boys have a chance to go to school. They get to play outside like a normal kid. It is not uncommon for girls to drop out of school and stop playing outside once they turn 13 or begin menstruating. Whichever comes first, they only get to go out with a male escort, even if it means a younger brother. A good girl is called obedient. She does understand that she's a doll who has no voice or choice. She's only good if she's quiet, humble, and accepts all decisions made by her father, mother, and brothers. Individual identity is ignored and shackled. Once, while I was filling a Canadian visa form, I couldn't spell the surname of my sisters because I've never seen their names on any documents. Their names and identities have never been recognized. When my little girl was born, I named her Malala, after a female hero's name who fought for Pakistan's freedom in the old days. When she was 4.5 years old, I sent her to school, the school I founded. I taught my girl students to unlearn the lesson of obedience. I taught my boy students to unlearn the lesson of pseudo-honor. She used every platform she had, volunteered every place she could to raise public awareness about girls' education. When she was 11, she went to school on the 9th of October 2012. She was shot by the Taliban. There was a girl who came to visit Malala in the hospital. She used to be a summer camp trainer that Malala joined once. Her name is Shiza Shapid, a Stanford graduate and has a bright future at Baker McKenzie. She asked Malala, "So many people are praying for you and want to help you. What should I tell them?" Malala replied, "I'm okay. Can you ask them to help the other girls?" We are in a world where we have a greater and wider platform than before to educate, unlearn, and relearn. Shiza Shapid made a brave decision to resign her job and follow Malala. Together with Shiza Shapid and her father, Malala founded the Malala Fund in 2013, shortly after surviving the fatal attack of the Taliban. The mission and vision of its amplifying girls' voices and ensuring that every girl has access to 12 years of free, safe, and quality education. The organisation is built on 3 pillars: investing in local education activists, advocating to hold leaders accountable, and amplifying girls' voices. Since 2013, the Malala Fund has come a long way operating in countries where intervention and advocacy are most needed. In Malala's own country of Pakistan, the fund has helped provide free, quality education to former domestic labourers, psychosocial support at internally displaced people's camps, and school supplies and repairs to damaged classrooms. The fund also operates in countries outside of Asia. For example, in Nigeria, the fund provided schoolgirls who were kidnapped by and escaped from Boko Haram with counselling services and full scholarships to secondary school. The fund has also stepped in during the most pressing times to prevent girls from dropping out of school. For example, during the Ebola outbreak, the Malala Fund supported the BRAC's Empowerment and Livelihood for Adolescents program in Sierra Leone, which provided the affected girls, including survivors of the disease, with radio-based education programs in informal settings. During the most recent and ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the Malala Fund aims to keep girls learning through school closures, re-enroll girls to catch up on missed lessons, support teachers with resources and training needed to deliver quality education, strengthen education systems against future crises, and ensure girls' physical and psychological well-being in the classroom. The fund also operates in countries outside Asia. For example, in Nigeria, the fund provided schoolgirls who were kidnapped by and escaped from Boko Haram with counselling services and full scholarships to secondary school.
I think in France there's a huge discrepancy between the gravity of the problem with rampant social and sexist violence and even cases of femicides and the way the government deals with it. And the problem is that any progress is pretty much blocked by the division between the French society, especially at the midst of the presidential election and the campaign. Advocating feminism and trying to raise awareness is deemed woke, progressive, too American for the French society, and that really blocks us from having a rational and constructive debate.
With the UK, the education system occurs between 3 and 18 years old. Any child of any gender, of any race, and any ethnicity has the full right to education. However, across the country, the quality of the education varies, and it's something in the future that could potentially be improved to get everyone on a fairer scale when it comes to education.
Even in the United States, we are still trying to achieve equal learning opportunities for both boys and girls. I think this is especially true along racial lines for girls who have disabilities, both learning and physical, and girls whose language is not primarily English. Additionally, in education, we need to provide equal athletic opportunities for both girls and boys, because often funding opportunities are different amongst those two.
Just 20 years ago in Canada, men were more highly educated than women based on number of years of education completed. However, nowadays, women are actually more highly educated than men, completing more years of school. With that being said, there's quite a significant disparity between the level of education of Indigenous women versus non-Indigenous women in Canada, and that is quite a problem that Canada must address in order to make the education system more inclusive.
I come from the southeast China, which partly is a developed region. So in my province, the education are much more equal than the other part of China. But there are still some parts can be improved. Like in my hometown, there are some small islands, and there are lack of the number of the teachers, and the government need to pay more attention to encourage girls back to the schools.
Hi, I'm from northeastern China. In my city, the education between boys and girls are equal, but you see it's a very traditional Chinese city. Older generation in this city, they have stereotypes that boys are privileged than girls, so they are more willing to send boys to school instead of give them equal education. So I think it can be improved.
Thai girls can go to school for free until secondary education, but it's not totally free. There are hidden costs like additional fee, school uniforms and materials. That's why some families give up before entering high school. And you need another 7 years to finish university education. Girls have high opportunity cost to trade off, that she can go to work and earn money in informal economy easily, rather than pay a high tuition fee.
I think we've come a long way from what it was back then in Sri Lanka. A lot of families actually encourage their girls to pursue further studies. But one thing that causes inequality is the fact that in poor families, a lot of girls feel like it's their responsibility to drop out of school and help their siblings and their families by earning money.